Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! In the heart of the corporate bustle, amidst the Monday blues, the words escaped as the weary team gathered. The relentless deadline drew near, with the project's finish line merely days away. Tired eyes struggled to remain open, desperately longing for the caffeine's jolt. As Diana, bearing the weight of her departmental authority, strolled in late, her apologies reflected a familiar tale, the intricate morning dance delaying her. But for Joey, already on the edge of sleep deprivation, this triggered an unforeseen reaction. How come women take forever with their morning prep? Be more punctual. It's simple. Joey instantly regretted the words, but they hung in the air like a bad smell. Diana placed her leather portfolio on the table with deliberate calm. Her burgundy blazer contrasted sharply with her measured movements as she took her seat at the head of the table. "Interesting perspective, Joey," she said, her voice even. "Since you seem to have strong opinions on women's time management skills, perhaps you'd be willing to participate in a little experiment." Joey shifted uncomfortably in his navy button-down shirt. "I didn't mean..." "No, I think this could be enlightening for everyone." Diana's smile didn't reach her eyes. 1 month. You'll follow a woman's beauty routine every morning before work. Foundation, concealer, the works. Then we'll revisit your opinions on time management. Nervous laughter rippled through the room. "You can't be serious," Joey said. "Completely serious. Consider it sensitivity training, unless you'd prefer a formal write-up for creating a hostile work environment." Joey swallowed hard. He thought of the promotion he'd been working toward for the past year. "Fine. 1 month. "Excellent. My office, 8 a.m. tomorrow. I'll bring supplies." The next morning, Joey arrived at Diana's office at precisely 8 a.m., his face freshly washed as instructed via email the previous evening. He wore his standard work attire, charcoal slacks, and a light blue dress shirt. Diana had transformed her office into an impromptu beauty station. A black makeup bag sat open on her desk, revealing an arsenal of products Joey couldn't begin to identify. "Sit," she instructed, gesturing to the chair across from her desk. "This is ridiculous," Joey muttered, but complied. "This is education," Diana corrected, pulling out a bottle of liquid. "First, primer. Creates a smooth canvas and helps makeup last longer." Joey flinched as she applied the cool liquid to his face. "Now foundation. I've matched your skin tone as best I could." As Diana dabbed the beige liquid across his face with a triangular sponge, Joey fought the urge to squirm. "Next, concealer for under the eyes. Most women have to hide dark circles from working 60-hour weeks while still handling the majority of household labor." Joey remained silent as Diana continued her work, explaining each product in detail, setting powder, a touch of bronzer, nude lipstick, and a coat of mascara. "This is just the basics," Diana explained, handing him a mirror. "What many would consider a natural look for the office." Joey barely recognized himself. His skin appeared flawless, eyes more defined, lips subtly enhanced. It wasn't dramatic, but it was undeniably different. "I look professional," Diana finished for him. "And it took 20 minutes. That doesn't include hairstyling, outfit coordination, or the societal expectations that women appear put together while simultaneously looking natural." She handed him a makeup bag. "These are duplicates of what I used today. You'll need to do this every morning before work. I expect full compliance. We'll add more products each week." Joey took the bag, already dreading tomorrow. And if someone asks, tell them the truth. You're learning about the female experience firsthand. Diana's expression softened slightly. This isn't punishment, Joey. It's perspective. The first week was a disaster. Joey woke up an hour earlier than usual and still arrived late to work twice. His foundation looked patchy, concealer creased under his eyes, and the mascara left black smudges he discovered hours later in the bathroom mirror. Co-workers stared but said little to his face. He caught whispers, saw the sideways glances. The marketing team found it hilarious. His friends in accounting stopped inviting him to lunch. Only Marcus from IT acted normally, dropping by Joey's desk as usual to discuss weekend plans.
Rough morning?
Marcus asked, noticing Joey's frustration as he tried to rub away a smudge of foundation from his shirt collar.
I don't understand how anyone does this every day,
Joey admitted.
I spent 40 minutes this morning and still look like a mess. Practice, probably.
Marcus shrugged.
My sister says she can do her face in 15 minutes now, but it took years to perfect.
Joey sighed.
Diana's adding eyeshadow next week. I'm screwed. YouTube tutorials,
Marcus suggested.
That's what my ex used to watch. Said they were better than any in-person lesson.
That night, Joey found himself falling down a rabbit hole of makeup tutorials. Video after video of techniques, product recommendations, warnings about common mistakes. He practiced removing his makeup properly, shocked at how much residue remained even after washing with regular soap. By the end of the second week, Joey could apply the basics in 25 minutes. Diana had added eyeshadow to his routine, a subtle taupe for everyday wear, and tinted lip balm. His technique was improving, though far from professional. The strangest part was how it began affecting his perception. He found himself noticing other people's makeup, the precision of a colleague's winged eyeliner, the blend of another's eyeshadow. He recognized the skill involved, the artistry he'd previously dismissed. During their third Monday meeting, Diana placed a small bag on his desk. Emerald green, she said. It'll bring out the gold flecks in your hazel eyes. And a proper lipstick today. Not nude, but a soft rose. Time to step it up. Joey took the bag without argument. The comments had mostly died down around the office, replaced by curious observation. He'd heard through the grapevine that bets were being placed on when he'd quit the experiment. He had no intention of giving anyone the satisfaction. That evening, Joey practiced with the emerald shadow for over an hour. The color was intimidating, bolder than anything he'd worn so far, but the tutorial he followed showed how to apply it subtly for daytime wear. When he finally achieved a look he didn't hate, he snapped a photo on his phone. The person staring back from the screen gave him pause. With his blonde hair slightly grown out and the emerald shadow making his eyes appear almost luminous, there was a softness to his features he'd never noticed before, a possibility he'd never considered. The thought both terrified and intrigued him. The next morning, Joey paired the emerald shadow with a hunter green tie against his white shirt. The coordination wasn't lost on Diana, who nodded approvingly when he delivered reports to her office. The color suits you, she noted. How long does your routine take now?
30 minutes,
Joey replied.
Less if I'm not trying anything new.
Progress. Diana studied him thoughtfully. How are you feeling about all this? Joey considered the question.
Confused,
he admitted finally.
I started this resenting every second. Now I'm watching tutorials before bed and coordinating my ties with my eyeshadow.
Diana's expression remained neutral. Interesting. And outside work? Still Joey as usual? The question hit uncomfortably close to the thoughts he'd been avoiding. Last weekend, he'd found himself browsing clothing websites, curious about how certain fabrics would feel, what colors would complement his skin tone, how a different silhouette might feel. "Mostly," he answered vaguely. Diana nodded, accepting his answer without pressing further. That weekend, Joey made an impulse purchase. The sage wrap dress appeared in a sidebar advertisement while he researched makeup removers. The model had similar coloring to his, fair skin, blonde hair, and the dress would complement the emerald eyeshadow perfectly. He ordered it before he could second-guess himself, along with proper concealer for his skin type and a makeup setting spray. When the package arrived Monday evening, Joey stared at it for an hour before working up the courage to open it. The dress was simple but elegant, with 3/4 sleeves and a flattering V-neck line. He took it to the bathroom, applied the emerald shadow carefully, and slipped the dress over his head. The mirror revealed someone he barely recognized, yet somehow had always known. His recently grown-out blonde hair, now brushing his shoulders, framed his face softly. The dress hugged curves he didn't realize could be accentuated, created a waistline where he thought none existed.
"Elena,"
he whispered to his reflection, testing the name that had drifted into his mind days ago and refused to leave. It felt right, in a way nothing else had before. The next morning, Joey, or rather Elena, stood in front of the closet facing a decision. The charcoal slacks and blue dress shirt represented safety. The sage dress represented truth. 20 minutes later, Elena walked into the office wearing the dress, emerald eyeshadow, and rose lipstick. Her blonde hair was pushed back with a thin headband, and she'd swapped her usual watch for a slim bracelet found in a forgotten drawer. The office fell silent as she made her way to her desk. Conversations halted mid-sentence. Someone dropped a coffee mug, the ceramic shattering against the tile floor. Elena kept walking, heart pounding, but back straight. She placed her bag beside her desk and powered on her computer as if nothing unusual had happened. Marcus appeared beside her desk within minutes.
"Bold choice,"
he said quietly.
"Too much?"
Elena asked, voice barely above a whisper.
"Not if it feels right to you."
Marcus shrugged.
"The dress suits you, for what it's worth."
Before she could respond, Diana appeared in the doorway of her office and motioned for Elena to join her. The walk across the office floor felt endless, each step accompanied by whispers and stares. Diana closed the door once Elena entered. "This wasn't part of the experiment," she said carefully. "No," Elena confirmed. "This is something else." Diana gestured for her to sit. "Tell me about it." "I don't know if I can explain," Elena admitted. "The makeup was annoying at first, then interesting, then—" She struggled to find the words. "It started feeling right, like I was finally seeing myself clearly. And the name? Marcus mentioned you asked him to call you Elena." "It came to me last week, the same night I ordered the dress." Elena smoothed the sage fabric over her knees. "I've spent every night researching, trying to understand. I think I've known something wasn't aligned for years, but never had the framework to understand what." Diana nodded slowly.
"So, this experiment accidentally triggered
a gender awakening?" Elena supplied with a nervous laugh.
"Apparently so. Plot twist no one saw coming, least of all me."
"What do you need from me, as your manager?" Diana asked pragmatically. The question caught Elena off guard. She'd expected resistance, confusion, maybe even anger at taking the experiment beyond its intended purpose. Instead, Diana was offering support. "Time," Elena answered honestly. "I'm still figuring this out. Maybe flexibility as I navigate the professional aspects of transition. And if you could use my name and female pronouns, that would mean a lot." "Consider it done," Diana said without hesitation. "HR will need to be involved for official documentation, but we can approach that when you're ready." She paused. "Is there anything else?" Elena felt tears threatening. "Why aren't you surprised? Or upset that your experiment went sideways?" Diana's expression softened. "Because this experiment didn't create anything that wasn't already within you, Elena. It just provided the opportunity for self-discovery." She smiled slightly. "Also, I have a transgender brother. Your journey isn't unfamiliar territory." Relief washed over Elena. "Thank you." "Don't thank me yet," Diana warned. "The office will talk. Some people won't understand. Are you prepared for that?" "No," Elena admitted. "But I'm less prepared to keep pretending." "Fair enough." Diana stood. "For what it's worth, emerald is definitely your color." The next few weeks transformed Elena's life in ways she could never have anticipated. HR meetings, coming out to friends and family, researching gender therapists. Each day brought new challenges and revelations. Some colleagues avoided her. Others were awkwardly supportive, trying too hard and stumbling over pronouns. A few, like Marcus, treated her exactly the same as before, which was its own kind of affirmation. Her parents' reaction had been mixed. Confusion and concern mingled with conditional support that felt tenuous at best. Her sister, however, had immediately taken her shopping for workplace-appropriate dresses and offered her guest room if things became difficult at home. 3 weeks after her first day as Elena, she sat in Diana's office for their regular check-in. She wore a navy A-line dress with subtle gold accessories, her makeup polished but understated. Her blonde hair, now styled in a feminine cut thanks to her sister's insistence on a proper salon appointment, framed her face in soft layers. "The experiment technically ends Friday," Diana noted, reviewing her calendar. "Though I think we've moved well beyond the original parameters." "Just a bit," Elena agreed with a smile. "Though I've certainly learned about women's morning routines." "And?" "You were right. I had no idea about the time, skill, or societal expectations involved." Elena shook her head. "I owe you an apology for my ignorance." "Accepted," Diana said easily. "Though I think you've more than paid your penance." She leaned back in her chair. "The question is, what happens next?" Elena took a deep breath. "I've been offered a position at Crawford & Myers. Their diversity initiative includes comprehensive transgender healthcare coverage." Diana's eyebrows rose. "You're leaving?" "I'm considering it," Elena admitted. "My transition will be expensive, both financially and emotionally. Their benefits package would help considerably." "I see." Diana made a note in her portfolio. "Before you make any decisions, I should inform you that I've been advocating with upper management to update our own healthcare policies. The changes should be announced next week." "Really?" "Really. Your journey has highlighted gaps in our inclusivity that need addressing." Diana studied her carefully. "You've become an exceptional asset to this team, Elena. I'd hate to lose you because our policies are outdated." Elena felt a surge of emotion. Thank you." "Don't thank me. It's good business to retain talented employees." Diana smiled. "Besides, who else will I discuss eyeshadow palettes with during budget meetings?" The following Monday marked 1 month since Joey had made that fateful comment in the staff meeting. Now, Elena sat in that same conference room, dressed in an emerald blouse that matched her signature eyeshadow, paired with a black pencil skirt and modest heels. Her blonde hair was pulled back in a simple but elegant low ponytail. Her makeup flawless after weeks of practice. Diana called the meeting to order, then paused, looking directly at Elena. Before we begin, I believe we should acknowledge that today marks the official end of our little experiment. Murmurs circulated around the table. Elena, would you like to share any insights? Elena hadn't expected to be put on the spot, but she straightened her shoulders and addressed the room. What began as a lesson in empathy became a journey of self-discovery. I learned not only about the time and skill involved in traditional feminine presentation, but also about my authentic self. She glanced around at her colleagues, noting the range of expressions, from supportive to uncomfortable to indifferent. I want to thank everyone who has shown me kindness during this transition, especially Diana, for creating the catalyst, however unintentionally. I'm still learning, still evolving, but I'm more myself now than I've ever been. Diana nodded approvingly. Well said. She turned to the rest of the team. And with that, I have another announcement. Our company benefits package has been updated to include comprehensive transgender healthcare coverage, effective immediately. Elena's eyes widened in surprise. This change reflects our commitment to supporting all employees equally, Diana continued. Now, let's turn our attention to the Patterson account. After the meeting, Elena stopped Diana in the hallway. You didn't tell me the policy changes were definite. I wanted it to be official before making promises, Diana explained. Does this affect your decision about Crawford and Myers? I need to think about it, Elena admitted. Their offer is competitive in other ways. Of course. Diana hesitated. Whatever you decide, I want you to know that watching your transformation has been remarkable. Not just the external changes, but seeing you grow into yourself. Even though it wasn't what you intended with your makeup experiment? Especially because of that, Diana said firmly. Sometimes the most valuable lessons are the ones we never planned to teach. 6 months later, Elena stood before the mirror in her new apartment, applying her signature emerald eyeshadow with practiced ease. Her blonde hair had grown past her shoulders now, and she'd finally mastered the art of loose curls that framed her face perfectly. The sage wrap dress, her first purchase and now something of a lucky charm, hung ready on the closet door for her first day at the new position. She had ultimately accepted Crawford and Myers' offer, but not before negotiating a senior role with greater responsibilities than her previous position. Diana had been understanding, even supportive, writing a glowing recommendation that helped secure the promotion. A text message illuminated her phone, Diana checking in to wish her luck on the new job. They'd remained in contact, their relationship evolving from manager-employee to genuine friendship. Diana had become something of a mentor, both professionally and in navigating life as a woman in corporate America. Elena typed a quick reply, smiling at how far she'd come from that morning in the conference room. One careless comment had inadvertently set her on the path to her authentic self. Her morning routine now took exactly 22 minutes. Foundation, concealer, emerald shadow, mascara, and rose lipstick. Not because she felt obligated, but because these rituals helped align her outer appearance with her inner truth. As she slipped into the sage dress and stepped into modest heels, Elena reflected on the strange journey that had brought her here. From ignorant comment to grudging experiment to profound self-discovery. From Joey to Elena. from hiding to living authentically. She grabbed her new leather portfolio, a parting gift from Diana, and headed out the door. Whatever challenges awaited at Crawford & Myers, she would face them as herself, completely, authentically herself, emerald eyeshadow and all. The office environment at Crawford & Myers proved more progressive than Elena had anticipated. Her new team welcomed her without focusing on her transgender identity, instead valuing her expertise and ideas. The company's diversity initiatives weren't just window dressing, but seemed genuinely integrated into the corporate culture. On her 1-year anniversary of living as Elena, she hosted a small dinner party at her apartment. Marcus came, having remained a steadfast friend throughout her transition. Diana arrived with a beautifully wrapped package. Inside, an emerald green silk scarf with a card that read simply, "To new beginnings and authentic living." As conversations flowed around her dining table, Elena caught her reflection in the window, blonde hair gleaming in the soft light, emerald eyeshadow complementing her now confident gaze, wearing a newer version of that first sage dress. The person looking back was finally, completely herself. "A toast," Diana suggested, raising her glass. "To Elena, who taught us all that sometimes the most important discoveries happen when we're forced to walk in someone else's shoes."
Or someone else's makeup,
Marcus added, with a grin. Elena laughed and raised her glass. "To unexpected journeys," she said, "and to having the courage to follow where they lead." Later, after her guests had departed, Elena sat at her vanity, removing her makeup, the ritual now a comforting end to each day. As the emerald shadow disappeared from her eyelids, she reflected that while the makeup had been the catalyst, the transformation had come from within. Joey had never truly existed, only Elena, waiting patiently to be discovered beneath layers of societal expectations and self-doubt. What had begun as an experiment in empathy had revealed her true self, one careful brushstroke at a time. As she placed her makeup brushes back in their holder, Elena smiled at her reflection. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new opportunities for growth. But tonight, she was exactly who she was meant to be. Emerald eyeshadow or not.
Thanks for watching, my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!